Hello from me, a special request from our granddaughter Jossie in South Africa to see me as well. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of our videos. And now I'll leave it to B.
Hey, off my chair. Well, hello. After a few relaxing days in Kubu Lodge in Kasane, we left at 6:30 a.m. on Tuesday the 20th of March and headed down for the ferry crossing over the Chobe River at Gazankulu into Zambia. We were now a party of 4 vehicles. We finally all made the crossing by about 9:30 and started the border proceedings to get into Zambia. It was all very quick and official, with receipts being issued, but these were the costs involved. Ferry crossing cost us 140 Rand, Zambian third-party insurance 204 Rand, council tax 9 Rand, and carbon tax 363 Rand. Once we were over the border, all 4 of us headed north for 120 kilometers before crossing over a bridge to the western side of the Zambezi River and traveling another 50 kilometers to Kabula Lodge on the banks of the Zambezi River. This lodge was 75 Rand per person per night for camping, but it was well worth it, as there was a beautiful lawn and good ablutions. On Tuesday, we just chilled at the campsite and had a braai in the evening. Wednesday morning, we got up and took a boat ride up the Zambezi to some rapids. However, the rapids were completely covered over, as the Zambezi River was flooding and was the highest it had been since 1979. Anyway, it was an enjoyable trip. In the afternoon, we managed to activate our satellite telephones, and that was a big worry off of my mind, because I wanted to be in contact with my children. Our car now seemed to be behaving, so Dave was very relieved. Thursday, we took a day trip 90 kilometers north up the western side of the Zambezi to Sioma and Gonya Falls. On the way up, we stopped to help some locals fix a broken fan belt and to tow them out of soft sand. Once we arrived, we were once again disappointed, as the falls were more rapids, due once again to the flooding of the river. However, we hired locals to take us over in Makoros to get a better view, and so it was a very enjoyable morning, ending with a lovely swim in the river. We travelled back and got back to Kabula Lodge at 3:30 in the afternoon. Friday, we woke up bright and early and set off back down towards Katima Mulilo, then northeast to Katunda and on up to Mulabezi. Here, we stopped to look at a whole lot of abandoned trains and an abandoned sawmill. Apparently, all was closed down in 1995, and it looked like a train graveyard. We met a local who showed us around, and he told us that he had just purchased the sawmill from the government and was hoping to get it all up and running again. We left Mulabezi, and after a short drive, we set up a bush camp for the night. It was lovely, except for the mapani flies that were they were tiny little flies that were continually trying to settle in our eyes looking for moisture. This was our solution. Saturday, we set off on a secondary road towards Kafue National Park. This road soon deteriorated into a grass track. And in fact, later there was almost no track at all. To top this, the tsetse flies invaded us. They are nasty flies, big flies that bite, and soon we were all covered in bites. we made very slow progress, and by the afternoon we had virtually given up hope of getting through to Kafui, when we met two local fishermen, Alex and Pritchard. They invited us to camp in their fishing village for the night and offered to be our guides the next day. So, on Sunday, with our two local fishermen's assistants, we left, and fortunately seemed to leave the tsetse flowers behind. All was looking much more positive. It was slow going, but we finally reached Ngormal camp at 2:30 p.m. and decided to continue up to Kalala camp on the banks of the Etetse Dam. And by evening, we were all safely in camp and enjoying our dinner around the campfire. Traveling through Africa these first 2 weeks has been a great learning curve, but we were surviving it and enjoying it. Dave and I seemed to have our packing and unpacking routines sorted out, and we were working together well. Dave had not had time to miss his TV, as he always had to do maintenance on Garfield. Last night, it was taking off the bonnet to get to the air vents to clear out grass seeds, and stripping the radiator to clear grass seeds. I have my hands full cooking, washing up, and doing the laundry. I wonder if Flora, our domestic worker at home, stands back and admires the clean washing. I certainly do. To assist with the laundry, I have a little barrel machine called a Sputnik that friends gave us, and it really helps a lot. You rotate the washing in the little barrel. Monday, we relaxed all day, catching up on washing, typing up web pages, and just reading. The guys, of course, had the regular maintenance of the vehicles to deal with. The day ended with a beautiful braai around the campfire, and we all retired to bed, well rested and relaxed, ready for the next challenging day of travel. Tuesday, we left at 8 a.m. and headed 80 kilometers north on a very bad road, full of potholes. We were still being plagued by electrical faults, and this time it was that our windscreen wipers had stopped working. Dave hotwired them so that they were on permanently. But then the next problem was that the rain was intermittent. So each time the rain stopped or started, we had to stop, open the bonnet, and manually connect or disconnect the wipers. Very tiresome. We finally reached the tar road leading east towards Lusaka. The going improved, and we made it into Eureka Campground. On Wednesday, we had another day doing motor vehicle maintenance. In the afternoon, we went into the COMISA office in Lusaka to find out about buying the COMISA yellow card, which is a once-off third-party insurance for most of the African countries. We found out where to go the following morning and then went back to our Eureka camp, where we had a delicious tuna pasta for dinner and then hit the sack for our early start in the morning. We have found all the Zambians that we have met to be very friendly and as helpful as can be. They all speak English, and so communication is no problem. The countryside is beautiful, and the land looks very fertile. Cell signal is very intermittent, as there is generally only one tower in each town, so you can only get signal for a few kilometers around the town and nothing in the countryside. All along the roads, there are locals selling tomatoes, sweet potatoes, Irish potatoes, as they call normal potatoes, and spinach. Lusaka itself is a thriving but typically African city with derelict buildings, intermittent electricity supply, and hordes of street sellers. However, we never feel threatened at all. On the outskirts of the city, we found big modern shopping centres to match any of the ones in South Africa, with all the shops we were accustomed to. For example, Game, Checkers, Steers, and a Mr. Price. On Thursday, we left Eureka Camp at 8 a.m. and headed off to buy our yellow card at the Nico insurance office. Once again, the lady was slow, but ever so helpful, even volunteering to send personal emails for us. Petrol is very expensive here, at about 12 Rand a litre. But of course, we can't proceed without the magical fluid. We left Lusaka and headed for Kabwa, and then north, stopping at a campsite just off the road called Forest Inn at 4 p.m. To camp was only 50,000 kwacha a couple. Don't fret, that's only 90 Rand. Friday we left and carried on along beautiful tarred roads towards Serenge. We went to see Kundalila Falls, which means cooing dove. It was wonderful to get some exercise instead of just sitting in the car, as we had to hike down to the bottom of the falls. These are the falls behind me. They were a beautiful sight from the bottom, and we had a swim in the icy waters. We relaxed at the falls for the rest of the afternoon and then headed up towards Kasanka Park. On the way, Dave stopped to buy beers at a local store. And oh my goodness, the lady assistants wanted to keep my husband. Anyway, it was a bit of fun. We set up bush camp just outside the gates and planned to go in early Saturday morning. Dave and I decided to time ourselves and discovered that it took us exactly 7 minutes to be completely set up, from when we stopped to having our roof tent top up, chairs out, shower cubicle up, and beers and savannas in hand. Not bad, hey? For dinner, we had roasted pot chicken and potatoes, butternut, and onion with lovely gravy. Life was turning out great in Africa, although today, on this day, I did really feel homesick, as our daughter Ray Ann was getting back from her first term at Cape Town University, and I was not there to hear all her exciting stories. I had known that it wouldn't be easy leaving my kids behind. All I could do was blow them a kiss along the Milky Way every night. If you found this video interesting, we would so appreciate a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss out on any new videos, hit the subscribe button to keep getting alerted of our new videos. Thank you for your time, and bye-bye until next time.